I'll call it you practice. You practice. Ugh. Oh, you're telling me how tired you are. Yeah, I see it. Coffee isn't helping. Up since 4:30 for work. Oof, 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 oof. I know. I know. Ooh, ooh. It's crazy what we do, isn't it? Okay, so let's try this one. First one to try. Give it a try. Just do one at a time. Do it small, whatever you need to do, a little bit at a time. Okay, some of you are done. A lot of you were done. Let me just check more. All right, if you're done, this is the answer. If you're not done, finish. Don't look up. We get it? Okay, so -60 should be the answer. Real quick. We'll look at these first. -3 times -1. Negative times negative makes it positive. -3 times 4, not negative, is 12 times -5. And then 12 times 5, if you have to multiply it out, that's perfect, makes -60. Beautiful. Love it. Let's try -2 to the 4th. I'll put the answer down if you're done. Now you can write it all out, -2 times -2 times -2 times -2, or a negative to a 4th power is going to be positive. So I know my answer is positive, and then I can just use my fingers or count, whatever. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So 4 2s are 16. I'm a big proponent of using fingers. I don't care. Anything but a calculator, I love it. Okay, try this one. -6 times 2 times 5 times 3. I wrote it a little differently. It still means the same thing. I'm putting the answer down. Don't look unless you're done. I see head shaking. Good, 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 good. Okay, negative 180. So let's look at it. So negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. And then times 5 times 3. And then I'm going to do negative 12 times 5. I know it's written differently, but still do it in order left to right. Although you can mix them up, but we're gonna keep it in order left to right. 12 times 5. 12 times 5 is 60, but it's negative because negative times a positive is a negative. Negative 60 times 3. 60 times 3 is 180, but the negative wins. Negative times positive is a negative, negative 180.
So I got negative 180, but I got it a different way.
Yeah, there's more than one way. What'd you do?
So I multiplied negative 6 times 2, but I also multiplied 5 times 3.
Yep.
So then I multiplied negative 12 times 15.
That's perfect. Perfect. I was actually thinking, I was thinking of doing it that way. It doesn't matter really because multiplying is commutative. Doesn't matter the order you multiply. I could actually have done negative 6 times 5 and then 2 times 3.
But you also got to think of, the way, so you getting the right answer. Like when we was in unit 1 and you were saying you want to make sure you're doing it right.
Right. Exactly. When it's all multiplying, it doesn't matter. It's like multiplying 5 times 4 is the same answer as 4 times 5, right? So if you just have all multiplying, you can move it any way you want. But as soon as I put adding and subtracting in there, you better make sure you do it in order left to right, right? Using their pandas. Exactly. Okay, one more. It's going to be strange, but it should be super quick. Can't write that out, can you? No. Everybody have the answer? One. Like that, right? I know, I love it. Okay, it has to be 1 because it's an even exponent, right? I don't care how big it is, it's still even. Answer is 1. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love that one. Okay, so we really spent a lot of time on multiplying. Let's start adding and dividing. Okay, so let's do dividing practice. The rules are pretty much the same. The rules are the same. So we'll look at a couple examples. So 1, negative 6 divided by 2. A fraction is dividing. So when I have like 1/2, it's 1 divided by 2. So if I have 1/2, it's the same thing as saying 1 divided by 2. Which
0.5.
Here, say it again.
It would be 0.5.
Exactly, that's 0.5, exactly. Now, something we're going to talk about later on. Oh, we'll wait on that one. We'll wait till we get there. Okay, so I can think of this as negative 6 divided by 2 as well. It's the same thing. But the answer would be 6 divided by 2 is 3. Negative divided by positive, negative wins. If it's opposite signs, so negative 3. 2. Negative 25 divided by negative 5. And if you don't like it that way, you write it as a fraction. I'm a big fraction person, so I always write that way myself. Like I would take this and multiply and write it in a vertical fashion. You don't have to, any way that you like. But negative, now I'm gonna do it separate. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I know the answer is positive. And 25 divided by 5 is 5. So it has to be positive 5. Negative 16 divided by negative 2. Now, you also might see it written like this. Negative 16 divided by negative 2. They both mean the same thing. You could also see it as negative 16 divided by negative. There's so many different ways to write dividing. But a negative divided by a negative is a positive, And 16 divided by 2, or you could think of it as half of 16, is 8. Now, we talked about these already, but I want you to be very, 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 very careful. Be careful of these two. If I give you 0 divided by -6, or I could write it as 0 over -6, it's still dividing. The answer is 0. And if you want to remember it, this is how I always like to show it. What number, question mark, that doesn't look like a question mark at all, question mark, what number times -6 is going to give you 0? Well, the only number it can be is 0. 0 times anything is 0. The answer is 0. But be really careful of this. If you remember correctly, this is undefined. You cannot divide by 0. And that's because if I have -6 divided by 0, what number times 0 is going to be -6? Nothing, right? So it's impossible. It's undefined. And as you go up in algebra, it's actually really quite cool. I don't want to tell you about it because you don't know enough yet, but this means something really, really, really cool in algebra. And when you get to algebra, you're going to find out what that exactly means. It's actually part of a graph that you don't know about. It's really cool. So there's a reason it's undefined. So just be careful of dividing by zeros. I know it gets confusing a lot, so just be careful dividing by zeros. Okay, let me give you a couple. Go to next page. We're on number 6. Try that one. -42 divided by 21. Now the answer is -2. That's because 21 plus 21 happens to be 42, or 21 times 2, if whichever way you did it, is 42. But a negative and a positive divided, the negative wins, -2. 7, let's do 180 divided by -10. I should get -18. I'm going to show you a shortcut for this too. I know it's negative. Hold negative for a minute. If you divide 180 by 10, if you put it in fraction form, you're allowed to cancel out the zero, how many zeros each has. So I can cancel out, whoa, let's take the whole thing out. Here, you can cancel out the 0 and you'll get 18. So off topic for a minute, if I have 2100 divided by, no, one page 4, hold on, 700, then that answer is really 21 divided by 7, which is 3. If I have 1000 divided by 10, then my answer is really just 100. Because what you're doing is you're dividing by 10 when you take the zeros out. So again, just a little shortcut, something to help you if you need it for anything. Little shortcut dividing by tens or multiples of 10 or yeah. All right, 8. Negative 12 divided by 0. Undefined. We get it? We get it? Yay. Can't divide by 0, right? Good. All right, one more. 9. I'm trying to think of a good one in my head. Oh, I got it. Negative 144 divided by 12. So 144 divided by 12 is 12, because 12 times 12 is 144, but the negative divided by a positive, the negative wins, negative 12. Good? Okay, so now we're gonna mix in a couple things. Now, speaking of mixing in, as soon as we mix in all of them, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, we have to make sure we do order of operation. So our next section on Tuesday is that. We're gonna take everything we've done and we're gonna mix it all in. But first, let's finish this section first. So evaluating, we did it earlier with adding, subtracting. Evaluating, simplifying expressions. But this is just multiplying, dividing. Okay, so the directions for all of them is evaluate. So evaluate 2xy when x equals -3 and y is equal to 5. So again, the idea is that we're going to substitute and simplify and find the answer, right? Actually, let me write that down. Substitute and simplify. So evaluate in this instance means that, substitute it and simplify. So I'm talking so you guys get ahead of me. So 2 times -3 times 5. 2 times -3 is -6 times 5. -6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 5 is 30, but a negative times a positive is a negative, -30. All right, now I'm going to mix up multiplying and dividing a little bit together. So evaluate 2a over b. So we're multiplying at the top and then we're dividing. When a is equal to 4 and b is equal to -8. So we're going to substitute and then simplify. So 2, instead of a, I'm going to put 4 in. And then b in the denominator is going to be -8. And then we're going to simplify. When you have a fraction, you always simplify the top and simplify the bottom separately and then divide. So 2 times 4 is 8. for my numerator, -8 is my denominator, and if I divide them, I have -1. Questions or anything? I'll change the page for a minute. I'll make sure you have it all written down. I see a couple people writing, so I'm holding on a second. This next one, I want to show you something really, a little tip too. All these tips I give you are optional. You don't have to use any of them, but little things I know that can make things a little easier at times, or something that maybe you prefer than not doing it a different way. Okay, what number was I on? I'm on number 3. Okay, so evaluate 4x over 2y when x is 4 and y is, actually make it -4. Make x -4 and y -2. Why don't you try it? Then we'll go over it. Give it a try. All right, first you substitute, then I'm going to multiply the top, the numerator. 4 times 4 is 16, but it's negative, so -16. Denominator, 2 times 2 is 4, but it's a positive times a negative, which is a -4. And then I can divide. Now, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so I know the answer is positive, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. So if you got 4, you did it right. Okay. I'm going to show you a different way to think about it that some of you will like, some of you won't. I'll show you. So 4x over 2y. When you really get into algebra, which you're going to get into, like we're going to be doing algebra a lot soon. So you should always look to see if you can simplify something first. So first thing I see, and that's because I've been doing algebra for a long time, so I know you probably don't see it, but look at the, here, let me circle it. Look at this here. Can I simplify that? Isn't 4 divided by 2, 2, right? So I can go and change this to 2x over y. And what's nice about that, now this is not, again, this is optional. You don't not have to do this. Everything we did up top front is perfect. This is perfect. Perfect. This has nothing to do with anything. This is perfect, right? This is just another option. So what happens when you simplify first is you don't have to simplify at the end so much. So then I would do 2 times x was -4 and y was -2, right? But then, geez, I can simplify again. Can I? I can simplify this. So this becomes -4 over 2 divided by 2 is 1, but I have a -1 on the bottom. And then that would also be 4. There's so many ways to do these problems, really. But so this is something that if you like it, do it. If you don't like it, each one do the way we did first, fine, which I expect most of you are here, which is perfect. But as we go on, I want you to see certain things with numbers as we go on. I'm trying to show you like relationships of numbers so you think about maybe a little bit differently sometimes. Beautiful. Okay, so I have a real life problem. Anybody play golf? No, I don't play golf. I played mini
golf when I was a kid.
What Joshua plays golf? What's that?
I played golf when I was a kid.
Well, where did you? Yeah, I can't play golf. I play mini golf and I still can't do it.
Yeah,
My
it wasn't
dad-
very good. It was
Okay,
more
this is
like just hitting a ball down the pasture, you know.
yes, that's exactly it. I could be right next to the hole, and I'm just like shooting it way over. Like, I don't know. It
My
frustrates
dad
me.
used to play golf.
Yeah, my husband plays golf. He likes it. He likes it. He doesn't go a lot, but he likes golf. But yeah, no. Okay, this is a golf shot. So if you play golf or you know anything about golf, this might make a little bit of sense. I don't know. Okay, so a golfer. We talk about real life. This could be like something real life. I shot the first 7 holes as follows. That just means the scores he got, right? Okay, he got a +2, which is not good, a -1. I know they have names, bogey, I don't know what they are. -2, +1, even, +1, and -2. That's what he shot in the first 7. That do 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's the first 7 holes. Hey, what was his total score? For the first 7 holes.
Well, what does even mean?
Okay, I know you're gonna ask that. Okay, even means 0. It means that he shot par, basically, if you know golf. So that means he didn't get a plus or minus anything, it's just 0. So think of even as 0. Joshua, I explained that somewhat right. Yes, okay, good. Hey, give it a try, see what he got. Okay. I'll be honest, I tried to do it in my head, I can't mess it up, so I gotta write it down. Okay, so here we go. +2, +2, -1, -1, -2, -2, +1, +1, even, +0, +1, +1, -2, -2. It's basically pretty much like just writing it out. So let's see what we got. So that is 1. Again, I'm doing it the long way just to show you how you can do it. That is -1. Now, 1 plus -1 is 0. 0 plus 0 plus 1 minus 2. Well, I don't need zeros and zeros. So 1 minus 2 would be -1. So his score after 7 holes would be a -1, down 1, which is really good.
I did that in my head. I was like, I was
Yeah.
like, I was thinking it was gonna be 1, and I was like, well, look at it again. I was like, that's -1. I was like, yes.
So he's 1 under par. I don't know the name for that. Joshua, what's the name for that when you're 1 under par? Is there a name for that?
No, you said it correctly.
I did it, sir. Okay, good. Awesome.
If you were saying
Yay.
it for a hole, you would, like, if the par was 4, you'd got a birdie, which would be 3
Birdie.
shots.
Birdie. What's a bogey? What's a bogey?
+1.
+1. Got it. Got it. Got it. See, I feel smart. Yeah, I feel smart. See, I'm the math person, but I don't know about a lot of things. So, you know, you guys have your own things. We all have our own strengths. It's beautiful. Okay.
And you know what an eagle is?
-2. Yay. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yay. I feel great. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So even miniature golf, like that's a miniature golf question too. Like, oh, look, I got a hole in one. I got a 0. I shot 6 over. That's me. Okay, so we're going back to something. I saw a favorite of many, not, but we're going back to something. Translating phrases. And then and simplifying and put together. The more we practice these, the better you're going to get, and they're going to be so easy eventually. From the test, from your first test, looking through I've looked through everybody's test, one question at a time. I saw which ones you got wrong, which ones you got right, because I want to know how you're doing. So I didn't look at your score and just put it down. I went through all your tests. So this is probably the most kind of problems that were wrong on the first test, translating and translating. You didn't have to simplify, but you had to translate. Okay, so the quotient of -12 and 3. Okay, quotient means dividing. So the quotient of, you can write it different ways. I'm gonna write it a couple different ways. You can do -12 divided by 3. When I see quotient, I see it in my mind, I see like a fraction. -12 over 3. Either or, doesn't matter. They both mean the same thing, and -12 divided by 3. So now that I translated the phrase, now I'm going to simplify it, and the answer is -4. The product of -5 and -9. A product means multiplying. Again, different ways to write it. You could do -5 times -9. You could do -5 times -9. You could do -5 times -9. And many, sorry, many different ways to write the same thing. I should just put equals. So they all mean the same thing. Doesn't matter which way you write it, as long as it's written one of these ways. And then 9 times 5 is 45, but a negative times a negative makes a positive. So it'd be 45. Okay. The product of 2 and -8 divided by -4. The product of 2 and -8 divided by -4. So just do it real quick. See if you can figure it out. And then we'll do it together. Hey, you can do this one. Did you get 4? Did you get 4? 4. You can do this one multiple ways. Again, you can write it all as one problem. You can do the product first and then divide it. if you're doing it all as one problem, you could have written 2 times -8 divided by -4. You could also just done 2 times -8. That's 8 times 2 is 16. Negative and positive, negative wins and multiplying. -16. And then taking that and divided by -4, which is 4. And doing it this way would also be 4. A lot of different ways to do it, but it's 4. We get it? We get it? We get it? Get it? Doing good? Yes? Yeah, I see
This
shaking
is
it.
Garrett.
Yeah.
So when I do my problems, you know how we
Mhm.
were doing like the order of operations?
Mm-hmm.
So when I do my work, I do write it down like a triangle so I don't lose like my spots.
I like that. I like that. So did you write this one? Did you write this one? 2 times -8 divided by -4 like that? Yes? Perfect. I was gonna write that too. Perfect. Like the triangle, like I told you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Because definitely, I'll give you a preview of what we're gonna do next. I think I have a little bit of minutes left over just to show you, but especially when you start putting this all together with adding and subtracting integers, it can get a little crazy. So doing this is how I'm gonna do it too next time. I love it. Megan, love it. Love it, love it. Okay, now let's do it without simplifying. So this time we're just evaluating. And you'll know why in a second why we're not simplifying. And doesn't have two E's. Evaluate. 1. Okay. From words. Subtract a number from -2. And remember, when you see the word a number, you can use X or N or A or whatever the problem. And MyLab, it might tell you what letter to use, what variable to use. But for us, we can just use X. Subtract a number from -2. So subtract a number from -2. So that means -2, I'm subtracting a number from -2 minus X. So I'm taking -2 and I'm subtracting a number from it. And then from here, I could say, and then let X equals -5, and you can figure it out, right? 2. The product of 19 and a number.
Hey, Miss Garrett, I have a quick question.
Yeah, go for it.
What is the rule on putting parentheses? So like when I originally wrote that, I put parentheses around the -2.
That's perfect.
Is that okay?
You'll see.
Okay.
Yep, you'll see it. But a lot of times, your books and will definitely show you parentheses around -2. And I guess it's more of like the more you do, the less you put parentheses because you know a little bit more. But I 100% love that. 100% love that. So if you want to think of it, it's almost like keeping the negative with the 2. The parentheses makes it put together. So if you prefer putting it together and versus like keep it the way I did it, fine. It will not mark it wrong on my Excel. They're probably the way they prefer it anyway.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just thinking like if you wrote that differently and the, it was X -2, it might be confusing.
Exactly. Definitely. That would definitely be confusing. 100% agree. So use your parentheses for now. That's fine. Fine. So if you want to put a parentheses around any negative, but it says a negative number, put parentheses, fine. So this one, you can write this a couple of different ways. 19 times X, 19X. Now this is a perfect example why I don't use a X for multiplying. Look at this, 19 times X. What the heck is that? What is that? Okay, so in math, in algebra, once you get to algebra, to me, this is 19X squared. because that's what algebra, that's what it means. So that's why we don't use an X once you hit algebra, because it's like really confusing when you have X, right? So perfect example why we don't use X when we start algebra. Beautiful. 3. The quotient of a number and -3. Again, there's a few ways you can write this problem. Now, Josh's question is really good. I'm going to show you why I would use parentheses on one way I'm going to write this. So you could put quotient of a number and -3. You could write it with parentheses, or I'm going to put or. Now, if I wrote it this way, I would 100% use parentheses just to keep it separate from the divide sign. Because X divided by, there's nothing wrong with doing this, but it looks weird when you have a divide and a negative next to each other. So usually you're going to see it in parentheses. Questions on any of them?
Yes, I have one.
Sure, go
No.
for it.
All right, so this is where I got a little confused, I think, on the exam. So when it says and, all right, so it says of a number and -3. The -3
Yes.
is always at the bottom.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, if it said a quotient, okay, now yes and no. If it said the quotient of -3 and a number, the -3 would be on top and the X would be at on the bottom. So whatever comes first, let's put it this way. When you see the quotient of, whatever comes first, oh, I did it again. I keep having my eraser come on, I don't know why. Whatever comes first is your numerator. And whatever comes second is your denominator. Is that all right?
Thank you.
Yeah? Okay. I'm actually gonna turn the page and I'll do another one like that. Okay, 4. Quotient of -24 and, okay. Should I do this to you? Sure, why not? And twice a number. Like how I think out loud? I was thinking in my head, I said out loud. Should I do this to you? I don't know. I think you could do this. I think it is. Okay, the quotient of 24 and twice a number. Now, since the quotient of -24 is first, that's your numerator, and is your divide sign. Now, of course, you can write it this way too. So and is your divide. Twice a number just means 2 times the number. I probably put in parentheses for this one. So either or. Does that help? Let's try this one. The difference of a number and -9. I'll put a little star here because you gotta be careful with this one. The difference of a number and -9. So the difference of a number, X, the difference means subtract, and -9. Now, if they want you to translate it, this is what you write. If it says simplify, then you're going to simplify it. Why can we simplify this one? Because minus a negative is a positive, right? So if it just says translate or translate, which is what I told you to do, translate, that would be your answer. But if it said translate and simplify, you would take the x minus -9 and make it x plus 9. So it depends on what they ask, which one is your answer. I asked for translate. So you want to simplify it. Question on that one. That's a little tricky one. Hey, one more I want to do, and I want to give you, we got like 5 minutes left, which is perfect. I'm gonna give you a couple to try on your own, but this one is the one most wrong on the test from the last test. Okay. 8 less than a number. Wasn't the number 8, but something less than a number. That was the most wrong on the test that I saw. And that's because, I'll remind you, I know it's a weird way to say it, but if you forget what to do, pick a number. Okay, like I say, let's say I pick 12. What is 8 less than 12? So in your mind, go, okay, wait, I'm gonna pick a number. What is 8 less than 12? Well, 8 less than 12, well, that'd be like 12 minus 8, right? Which is 4. Well, that's what they want you to do. The 8, when you see a number less than, it comes second. But if you forget, pick a number and do the math. So I'm going to erase this, because now I know that it's 8x minus 8. 8 less than a number. The 8 comes second. Or whatever number it is comes second. The number's first. So you're taking the number and you're subtracting how many they want you to subtract.
Ms. Garrett, there's
Yeah.
still no grade for my exam in my lab and mastering.
Is this Amanda?
Yeah, it just
Did
doesn't
you
have
get-
anything. It has
did
two
you-
little dots.
Yeah. Did you get my email? What I showed you, what I see
Yeah,
on my
I
end?
just wanted to review what I got wrong on it, and it wouldn't let me because there's no grade for it.
I don't understand, because you saw the grade on my end, right? I don't know why.
I didn't get pictures that you sent me. Like when I clicked on it, nothing came up.
Oh, well, I attached picture. I'll send it again.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have all your grades. They're all right there. So I didn't want you to be worried that I don't have your grades. I have all your grades and I have them all written down. I don't know why it's not coming up on your end. And there's actually somebody else in this class who had the same problem. I could see it. I can't see it on your end, but somebody else I know is having problems because I see it on my end. There's something wrong with, I don't know what it is, but I see all the grades. I know that they can't see their grades and I don't know why. So
Okay.
I don't know. This is my first time doing like an online class using my lab and all that. So I don't have the experience of knowing what's going on, but I have looked and looked and researched and researched. I cannot tell you how many hours I spent trying to find the answer to all these problems, and I don't know what it is. So
Okay.
sorry, I'm
you
doing the best I
email me
can.
what my grade actually is? Because I don't feel like what it says
Yeah.
on there is my grade.
Yeah, I can. And I can also send you pictures of when you got wrong. How's that?
Okay.
I'll take a screenshot of the ones you have wrong so you can see and you can look through them.
Okay.
Because
Thank
I do
you.
like that. You definitely should look through what you have wrong. That's how you learn, right? So I'll do that after class. I'll bring your stuff up and I'll do it, and I'll put it in a PDF so that I can know you can open it up.
Okay. Thank
And then any problems at all, again, like if you still can't get it, like email me right back and I'll look at it. Okay, you're good. I have one more, then we're done. It won't let you review either, Gwendolyn. I might have it closed. I'll have to go look. Okay, let me go look. I could have closed it, maybe, possibly. I could have shut it down. Let me go look. Maybe that's why you can't open them up. But I know, Amanda, yours is different issue. Okay, so one more. I don't know what number I'm, so I'll just say here, -16 increased, something really different, increased by 3 times a number. Last one. All right, -16 increased by, add 3 times the number, 3x. Beautiful. You guys are doing great. And listen, don't be afraid to email me over and over again if you have to, if you have a problem. I really try to fix everything I can. So anybody, you have an issue, question, email me. I usually get back to you the same day, unless it's like a weekend and I'm away or doing something. But so any issues, any problems, let me know. I'll stay on for a little bit. But if you guys are okay, go for it. Try to get onto your homework, because before you know it, we're going to be on the test. This section goes by pretty fast. Okay, awesome. I will see you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Tuesday, and let me know if you need anything. Bye.
I will get all my assignments done, hopefully by this evening or tomorrow, because I know I'm a little behind in my homework, because I have to go straight to work right afterwards, so that's why.
Okay, did you send me your pictures yet?
I'm about to do that as soon as I get off.
Okay, yeah, when you do it next time, I gotta have them right away, like right
Okay.
away. Okay, perfect.
Hey, and
Hey.
I would like to have a copy of the answers I got wrong too, if I'm
That's
not
right.
able.
Yeah, that's
And
problem.
then
I'll do that
also,
too.
I'm sorry, and one more thing, I don't know how much extra credit was added. I know you said you gave me my score with the extra credit, but I don't know exactly
Yeah.
how many it was.
Oh, you got 10 here. Oh, hold on, I got it right here. Hold on. I got it right here. Yeah, you got 10 extra credit. So you had an 83 on the test and you got 93 overall.
Okay, so that's what I want. I wanted to know what I really got on the test, minus the extra credit. So, but yeah, I
Yep.
would like to see what I got wrong too. Because I know I was kind of rushing, and one of them, it was like, I got frustrated, so I just kind of like skipped
Oh,
right
Shelley.
past it.
Okay, no problem. I'll go back and I'll see and send you. Gwendolyn, you want the same thing, Gwen? Send you pictures of what you have. Hey, Shelley, I thought Gwen was talking, so hold on, Shelley. Oh, you had an 80 on the test and you had 5 extra credit. No, you had 85 on the test and you had 5 extra credit. So you got a 90. So I'll do the same thing. I'll do it right now for all 3 of you. I'll go through and like take screenshots and save as PDFs so you can see it.
All right, appreciate it. Thank
Okay.
you.
No problem. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Bye, Shelley. Gwen, you good?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Um,
I'll say, go ahead.
That what you taught us last week, the negative plus a negative, and you add it instead of subtract it, worked like a charm.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Let me tell you, it's a lifesaver. You know what? Once you get it, like you get it. Like it's like math makes so much easier that way. Yeah.
Well, I was always good in it when, going through high school and stuff. And I mean, they even put me in algebra when I was in 6th grade. And
Wow.
back then they didn't, really
No.
do that. So
No.
I had algebra from 6th all the way to high school, and then I had to
Wow.
do it then. But I had lost all that. You don't work with it, you forget it.
You
So
100%. You forget fractions, you forget decimals, you forget. I was the same way. Like I went back to school after I think 20 years at high school, and I had to relearn I wanted to be a math teacher. I had to relearn my math. So that's what happens. You don't use it, you lose it, I get it. I know. But I'm glad it helped. I'm glad it helped a lot. Good. Glad. I'm hoping to help everyone, because to me, that's the easiest way to do positive, negative numbers. It really is. If they're the same,
it is.
you add them. If they're different, you subtract. Now with multiplying, it's a little different. So it's really hard to mix up what's going on. And I hope we did enough adding and subtracting so that now that we did multiplying, everyone knows definitely how to add and subtract and then how to multiply. So we'll see. We'll see.
When is our
Awesome.
next test?
It is, I don't have it in front of me. I don't have that in front of me, but I could bring it up. So hold on a second. It is. Let me stop sharing my whiteboard. You don't need that anymore. Then get to my computer. Okay, so I'm about to start teaching 2 more classes, so it's going to be a little scary. They give me 3 classes for some. I thought I was going to get 1. They gave me 3. Sort of funny, but it's so good. I love it though. All right, so our next test is the 16th.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
believe it, it'll be here before you know it. We're exactly halfway done the chapter.
Yes, I know. And it's just flying by so fast. Well, I start
know.
school for reading, for the reading part, because I really goofed up on that because I couldn't see it whenever I took the test. And
That's so bad.
so I go Mondays and Wednesdays. I got to actually come to the school and
Got it. I know, because when you start getting more than 1 class, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I know. So
4 classes this semester, and I'm doing. Yeah, I've got A's and B's
good
on
for
all.
you. Good for you. When you're an adult, you sort of like you appreciate it more than when you're a kid. And it's sort of like, oh, it's just a class I gotta get through. Now you're like, no, I want to learn. Like I want to know, and I want to get better, and you work harder, kind of. So I know I wasn't ready after high school to go to college, but I was when I decided to go back. Yeah. So everyone's different, but it's great.
Well,
Yeah.
you make math fun when you're doing
Oh,
it.
good. Good. I think
So
it's
it
fun.
keeps everybody interested. That's why whenever you said everybody was yawning, well, I was up all night packing because I'm trying to get finished moving, and
Okay.
I was sitting there going, "Dang, I'm surprised she didn't see me yawning."
I just went. I always, people don't think of it, but I look at everybody's faces. Like I'm in the classroom, I like to look at students' faces because I can see if you get it or not, right? So I'm just going down and glancing at everybody's face, and all I see is. You know what? You have to have fun. We're all learning together. We're all learning together. We're all here to help each other. That's what it's about.
Well, I sure appreciate you, and you have a great weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.
You got it. And I'll look for my email.
I sure will. Thank you.
Bye, Gwen.